All right.
Yeah.
So, finally here. I have a small surprise for you.
Okay.
Okay, so the very first thing that I want to do is ask you to tell me something that nobody else who isn't watching this video will know. So someone has to watch this video to find out this thing about you.
Wow.
No pressure.
When I was, I think something like 3 years old,
Okay.
I drank kerosene thinking that it was Coke. And then I did it, unfortunately, again after coming back from the hospital.
You did the same thing again?
And this time thinking it was Fanta.
But we're glad you're here.
Thank God I survived.
That is amazing. That's
Right?
I don't know what I expected, but that's really good.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome.
Growing up, I was just, for whatever reason, super fascinated by anything that flew. Like, I think my dad had done some gliding in his heyday.
Okay.
And so knowing that someone I knew and loved, like at some point was in the air, just piqued my curiosity, and I just gobbled up anything that talked about flight.
Okay.
Second key thing that was happening in my childhood was tinkering. Like nobody's Christmas gift was safe.
This is outside of your Christmas
This is out of my Christmas gift. You had like, I'll give it 5 to 10 days from Christmas to, let's say, January 5th, 6th to enjoy your toy. At that point, it's all mine. Now, the goal was figure out how it works.
Yeah.
And then, of course, assemble it back together.
Okay.
I didn't really get the assembly piece right. Those, I think, were two like really formative interests and curiosities while I was growing up here in Ghana that ultimately shaped my path to studying aerospace engineering in college. By the end of high school, I realized that I could fuse this passion for building things with this passion for aviation in the discipline called aerospace engineering.
But then you decided to do something else.
That's right.
Something very different.
Very different.
That doesn't involve flying.
At all.
It involves putting things together, but it's more like things that kind of grow in the ground and don't really need like screws or
Precisely.
gears. Like,
Precisely.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I made the journey or transition from aerospace to agriculture, and that's
how
I came back to Ghana for the first time after leaving in 2010. The goal was to reconnect with culture, people, and as well to do a bunch of humanitarian work through a Christian service organization. Everything that I was learning and doing was very divorced from the tangible needs I saw on the ground.
Right.
So whether it's access to energy, low income, literally people going hungry, poor sanitation. And so that challenged me to say, how can I personally rethink what I'm studying? Specifically, if aerospace engineers can put a man on the moon, how can I figure out how to help put more food on the table or income in the pockets of the people I got to meet? Second experience was a class trip through a program at MIT called D-Lab Development. So D-Labs organized a trip for us students to come to Ghana to work with farmers in Ghana, work with a number of community partners, and we met a group of farmers that were saying, there's this thing called moringa, it's incredible, it's a miracle tree, it can cure everything. And we actually realized there was more to what the farmers were saying, and that it really was true. Not all of it, so it won't cure HIV and AIDS like we had heard.
So this is the moringa leaf.
This is the moringa leaf.
So it's the farmers who introduced you to the moringa leaf.
Everything I do right now is the result of things that I've learned from farmers. So this experience led my co-founder and I, her name's Emily Cunningham, to
Name is?
Emily Cunningham.
Emily Cunningham. Okay.
Was fortunate enough to win a fellowship to continue research on moringa.
Okay.
And then she graduated and joined me at the end of that fellowship, and we incorporated the company and said, let's make it our mission to improve lives through the moringa tree, and let's figure out how to actually do this. So that was 2013. And now we're in the 5th year of figuring out how to do this.
Wasn't there any pushback?
So the first time I dropped anything along this line of thinking, actually it was with my mom. It was over the phone, and she just kind of like paused for a while, and then she definitely like started crying. So this journey ultimately, started with my mom shedding tears, saying like, I know you want to help people, but you can go make some money and then help people.
A quick question. How much funding did you need?
Yeah, we had applied for a $5,000 grant to do more needs assessment on can we help farmers grow moringa and turn their produce into money. So our initial idea, which failed, was we are going to build human-powered machines, put those human-powered machines in the hands of farmers. Farmers are going to use these machines to crush their moringa seed and extract oil, and we are going to sell that oil to beauty companies.
Right.
And so we had romanticized a solution. And when we got on the ground, we realized that farmers were way ahead of what I was at least thinking. That basically changed our business model. And we realized that what we need to do is build farmers' capacity to grow moringa better.
That's maybe something that we can talk a little bit about, right? Because being an entrepreneur is really romanticized. What's it like being in that position?
Yeah, so I was super green. My only work experience has been running like summer camps, teaching other kids robotics in college and high school, and then NASA. That's it. And then I jumped into entrepreneurship. I landed in July. By August, September, I'd lost 15 pounds. I was having constant headaches. And I realized that that's not how it goes.
It's not easy.
And I didn't even have a full team back then. 12 crops. All food in the world can be traced back to that. So I think one of the biggest problems and opportunities that we're going to see a lot more innovation around is you're going to see more people investigating indigenous crops that we've forgotten and seeing how do we cultivate them using best practices from modern day. I think one of the interesting trends as well and opportunities is that young people need to get plugged in.
Okay.
I think
more young people need to get involved in agriculture.
And agriculture here in Ghana.
How? Because I know lots of young people who are super interested, but they don't know how to get into agriculture. Maybe if they have heard some big numbers around, what the size of the potential market is, they can really go chasing.
I think the reality, like you're saying, the reality is if they know they'll make money from it, they'll do it. All right. And unfortunately, the stories of people who have excelled in agriculture aren't told that often. And so most young people don't realize that there is a way to not just do a lot of good, but also make a lot of money in ag. And I think the more stories we tell, so this is cool. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. We haven't made a lot of money, but we're on that trajectory. So hopefully this inspires other people to get into other value chains. Because the reality is that moringa, honestly, is not even the sexiest thing that I've now come to learn in spending time in Ghana.
Yeah.
There's so many crops that are underutilized, whose value chains are underdeveloped, and it's just saying, connect the dots because this is money sitting there. There's money growing our soil, there's money growing the trees, in the leaves, in the seeds, in the fruits, in the bark, in the roots, everything.
Yeah, so we're talking about opportunities in agriculture, right? Moringa itself is an incredible product. And I don't know, do you want to talk some more about what moringa can do? Do you want to talk about another product? How do you want to...
I'll do a sprint through moringa, and I want to inspire people to think beyond moringa.
Okay.
The leaves of the tree, gram for gram, have more iron than spinach, more calcium than milk, more protein than eggs.
Hang on.
Let me land.
Wow.
And this is comparing dry weight of moringa to dry weight of each of those substances, right? So, literally 9 times the iron of spinach. If you take
9 times the iron
exactly
of spinach.
40%.
That's contumely.
Similar to contumely, exactly.
Okay.
40% of children in Ghana are anemic.
Okay.
Lack iron. So for us, there's just an incredible opportunity to not only help farmers make money, but to improve the health and nutrition of people in Ghana. And 3, to make money that keeps the cycle going. So many parts of the tree have other exciting things about them. But I think for me, one of my problems with entrepreneurship in Ghana is that everyone just wants to copy and paste what someone's doing.
Right.
So today I'm going to just tell people here are all the other things I want to do, but I don't have time to do.
Okay.
Right.
Let's talk about a few.
This is exactly. So these are ideas. So don't come and try to start another moringa business. Let me help you pave the way. So if I wasn't doing moringa, one very interesting crop that I would take a look at is neem. Neem. So we see neem all over the place here in Accra.
Okay.
Perhaps I think the most common tree you see here in Accra, right? And every part of the tree is useful. Like
walk me through it from the top.
So for example, the leaves of the tree, we actually use as an organic pesticide, an insecticide.
Okay.
And people have already started synthesizing the active ingredients in neem to create organic pesticides that are sold in Europe and US.
Oh, okay.
The bark of the tree, there's literally hundreds of formulas and recipes from Ayurvedic medicine.
From what?
Ayurvedic medicine. This is traditional medicine out of India.
Okay.
That have used literally every part of this tree to cure a host of diseases.
I see.
There's incredible anti-malarial benefits of neem, right? And so I'm sitting there saying, this is an incredible locally abundant resource that we're not using. And that's just neem. Even if we go to something like pawpaw leaves are even more nutrient dense than moringa leaves.
Oh, wow.
Pawpaw.
No, but we don't use them for anything.
We don't use them for anything.
Just toss them
That's
out.
what I'm saying. So my sort of challenge
There's so much opportunity
to
there.
my challenge to
What
every
value
young
would you put in
person.
that market? What would you say? Is it a
Well, so I mean, just the snack food market in Africa alone is $7 billion.
$7 billion? That's snack food.
And so the question is, how do we help young people say, all right, I'm going to put on my spectacles, right? And when I see neem, I don't think, oh, annoying big tree in Accra that's, in my way or randomly in the road because we didn't do the road right. I see, wow.
See money.
That's money. When I pluck my pawpaw and I just ignore the leaves, I'm like, wait, I just left money on the tree.
Yeah.
Right? So that would be my sort of charge to other people, young people especially, who are thinking about agriculture. Let's rethink agriculture. It's not just cassava and yam and contomere.
How do you go about fundraising, right?
Yeah.
As a young entrepreneur.
One, I want to dispel the myth that you need a lot of money to understand whether something's a business or not. So my first thought is, don't think about the money you need to raise. First, just think through what this business could look like and just map it out.
Does that mean developing like a full-blown business plan?
So no, definitely don't bother writing a business plan.
Also, definitely don't bother writing.
Don't bother writing a business plan. Just go online, look up Lean Canvas, Lean Canvas model.
I mean,
and follow the instructions online.
Everybody in the comments is gonna go ballistic.
Business plans, no one reads them. It takes you forever to write them.
Okay.
The moment you're done, it is, give it 1 month. It is expired in terms of how useful it's going to be because your business has had to evolve.
Interesting.
So things like the Lean Canvas or another popular one is called the Business Model Generation, Business Model Canvas, are really good tools that are constantly evolving with you as your business evolves.
The Lean Canvas.
Fits on one piece of paper. Yep.
The Lean Canvas.
Lean Canvas,
Business
Model Canvas.
Business Model Canvas. Okay.
So I would say entrepreneurs start there. Okay. Then I would say talk to some friends and family for a little bit of money. And when I mean a little bit, I think you shouldn't put in more than what's that in CD? So equivalent 500 USD. So let's say 2,000, 2,500, under 3,000 CDs. Like, so do not spend more than that. And your task is, how can I prove every element of this business with less than 3,000 CDs? So you should force yourself as an entrepreneur to think through that. So I know some people are like, oh, Charlie, I need to raise, like some 1 million CDs B. And I'm like, no. You need 1,000 CDs. And you can prove each element. So if, for example, with moringa, I need to know, can I grow it? Can I process it? Can I sell it? I'm not gonna go start a farm. I'm gonna go to someone who has moringa. Charlie, let me buy you moringa. I'm now going to process it. I don't need the big fancy machine. We built all our first machines. I took something that existed, modified it. All right, it can do moringa. Done. Who wants to buy it? It doesn't have to have all the sexiest packaging, blah, blah, blah.
You don't have to like immediately agree like a nationwide distribution deal with Maxmart.
You don't. And I think if small entrepreneurs just think through how do I rapidly iterate through my idea, they'll realize that you can get so much traction without having to raise $100,000. Now, to answer the real question is, how do you go about raising more capital? Once you've proven the idea, how do you raise money? I would say that right now, things are so wide open. There's so many more ways to get money. So one, crowdfunding. So as soon as we got our first grant, our next thing, we raised money on Indiegogo, and it worked. We raised $34,000.
$34,000? How long did it take?
About a month and some change. Yeah, let's say a 6-week period. Okay. There's a lot of prep work you have to do before you go live.
Right. So you're counting that into the 6-week period.
Yeah. So let's say 2 months actually, and we were blessed. Like literally, a random family in Sweden saw our work in Ghana and just said, you know what? Whatever you need to close your goal, I'll do it. Oh my God. Incredible blessing. But I think the world has changed because of the internet, because of platforms like Indiegogo, Kickstarter, GoFundMe. There's so many now, right? And so it's not the person you're seeing here who's going to believe your work and going to propel it forward. I think it's really interesting for entrepreneurs, particularly if you have a product that moves quickly, to think through how you can leverage things like debt. So this is very safe, patient debt. So not, unfortunately, the debt from our banks,
Absolutely
but
not.
going to friends and family and saying, hey, I've proven this thing is viable, it's making money. Let's do, some cool interest. So we typically will raise debt from friends and family. Never really family, because my family's not really balling, but friends are friends. And we'll offer them 5 to 7% interest per year on the USD.
Okay.
And so if you have family locally or family abroad, it might be an interesting thing to try. That's worked really well for us. And then from there, I think you can graduate to other things. Outside of debt, there's something called revenue share, which is, I personally like as an entrepreneur because it shares all the incentives. So you give me money. Well, in essence, almost treat like debt. But I'll tell you that, I borrowed $500 from you. You're gonna tell me you want $500 times 1.5 back. And every month that I make money, I pay you a certain percent of what I made, so a royalty. And if I don't make money, I don't pay you that month. And so it's a kind of safer way.
At the end of the period, you still pay me back like 500
exactly.
times 1.5?
Exactly. We've also done something called a convertible note.
Okay.
So this is an instrument that says, I'll take your money, we'll treat it like debts for a certain amount of time. At that point, we will convert your principal plus your interest into equity in our business. And I've taken a little bit of time to explain these instruments because I think, unfortunately, when people think about raising money, they jump straight to equity. And I think there are so many other things entrepreneurs can do before equity.
Absolutely. What would you say to people who have money, maybe are outside the country and looking to grow it? Because I do meet quite a few people who are like, look, maybe I'm working in the US, I'm working in the UK, I have some roots in Ghana, maybe I have parents in Ghana, something like that. And sure, I could come to Ghana and put it into treasury bills, but one, that's not very interesting. Number two, I think there are better growth options out there for my money. Would you suggest that people invest in agropreneurs?
A mentor of mine once sat me down. Was like, Kwami, look at China, look at Israel, look at Korea. Who built them? I'm like, Chinese built China, Korea built Korea. It's like, exactly. The only person that's going to build Ghana, that's going to make Ghana the country we dream it can be, is Ghanaians. It's not someone sending foreign aid. We're grateful for the capital that it comes, and when it's used well, happy for the results. But unless Ghanaians, wherever you are in the diaspora and wherever you are in Ghana, say, I'm going to build this nation, nothing will change. It's not the politician, it's you and me. And so I think if people have $5,000 in your savings account in the US, that can go a long way. And it's not just remittance to send to your aunt or uncle to go fix the house so that at Christmas you come.
It's not
and
a
then
grind.
you spend 3 days in the house. No. Invest
grow
it.
that money,
Exactly.
right? Grow that
Invest it in entrepreneurs who are on their grind here, building things that serve people and things that make money.
Agriculture is a very interesting opportunity, and
Yeah.
I'm super proud of the work you guys are doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Kwame, it's been an absolute pleasure, my man. An absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the video series, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's been fun.
All right, awesome.